Good morning, students. Today we will start a new chapter which is surface chemistry. So already we have finished 3 chapters. Solution we have done, next electrochemistry we have done, chemical kinetics we have done. 3 chapters already finished. So now we will start surface chemistry. This is another chapter. Chapter number 5, chapter number I think 4. So what is surface chemistry? What we study in this chapter? Actually it is a branch of chemistry which deals with the study of the phenomenon occurring at the surface. That's why it is called surface chemistry. So it is a branch of chemistry in which we study about the phenomenon occurring at the surface. Now mainly in surface chemistry you should know about adsorption. Everyone knows about adsorption, but there is another word which is called absorption. Do you know the difference between this adsorption and absorption? There are some point of differences between this. So I will tell you later. In this chapter, mainly we will study about adsorption, AD, not the absorption, but we should know the differences between adsorption and absorption. Now, what is adsorption? Adsorption means it is the phenomenon of attracting or retaining the molecules at the surface of a liquid or a solid, resulting into higher concentration of the molecules on the surface is called adsorption. Have you got it? What I am saying? It is the phenomenon of attracting or retaining the molecules at the surface of a liquid or a solid, resulting into higher concentration at the surface is called adsorption. For example, if some dust particle get attached on your skin, then it is said to be a adsorption. Now, suppose this is a substance, maybe solid substance, and this is the surface of the solid. So this is a solid substance and this is the surface. So when some molecules coming from outside, and if the molecules get attached on the surface like this way, then this process is said to be adsorption. But always remember, adsorption takes place only at the surface. It's a surface phenomenon, not the bulk phenomenon. It occurs only at the surface. Now, the substance which get adsorbed on the surface, they are called adsorbate. They are called adsorbate. I mean the molecules which are coming from outside to get adsorbed, they are called adsorbent. And on which they get adsorbed, at the surface of the solid, they get adsorbed. That's why this solid substance is said to be adsorbate. Adsorbent, B-E-N-T. So what is the difference between adsorbate and adsorbent? In case of adsorption, what molecules are getting attached on the surface, they are called adsorbate, and on which they get adsorbed, that is called adsorbent. So when some adsorption takes place, always you will get the adsorbate and adsorbent. Now, suppose some molecules get adsorbed on the surface. Again, you try to remove the substance which get adsorbed. Yes, you can remove it also, which is called the reverse process of adsorption. Adsorption means it attracts the particle and retain on the surface. If you want to remove it again, then that process is called desorption. DESORPTION. I mean the reverse process of adsorption is said to be desorption. I mean, if you want to remove the adsorbate from the adsorbent, then that process is called desorption. So what is adsorption? Adsorption means it's a phenomenon of attracting or retaining the molecules at the surface of a solid or a liquid, resulting higher concentration of molecules at the surface is called adsorption. The molecules which are coming from outside to get adsorbed, they are called adsorbate, and on which they get adsorbed, that is called adsorbent. The reverse process of adsorption, I mean after getting adsorption, if you want to remove it again, that process is called desorption. And specially one thing you should know, when a gas is adsorbed on a solid, suppose some gas molecules coming on solid and it get adsorbed. For example, as you know, hydrogen gas is adsorbed by the palladium metal. Palladium metal is solid, hydrogen is gas. So when hydrogen gas is adsorbed on the palladium solid metal, that process is called occlusion. That is called occlusion. The occlusion term is used only for gas in liquid. I mean when the gas adsorbed on solid surface, that process is called occlusion. So this is about the adsorption. Always remember, adsorption is a surface phenomenon. Now, as I have told you, there is another term which is called absorption, AB. Now you should know what is the difference between adsorption and absorption. Now I will tell you that. Adsorption, and here I will write absorption. First thing, adsorption, it is a surface phenomenon. And absorption, it is a bulk phenomenon. What is the difference? I mean, in adsorption, the molecules are get attached on the surface only. It cannot enter inside the substance. But absorption, it takes place not only at the surface, it can enter inside the substance also. That's why it is called a bulk phenomenon. And in adsorption, the concentration in this phenomenon, the concentration at the surface, of adsorbent is different from that in the bulk. But in this phenomenon, the concentration is same throughout the material. The concentration is same throughout the material. Because here adsorption takes place only at the surface. That's why at the surface the adsorbate molecule you will get only at the surface, and that's why the concentration you will get more in the surface. But in case of adsorption, since the molecules get inside the substance also, that's why concentration inside the material you will get same. I mean through the material you will get similar concentration, because absorption takes place not only at the surface, in the bulk also it takes place. That is one of the point of difference. Another point of difference I want to tell you, the rate of adsorption. First time speed is very high. I mean rate is fast, but as the time proceed, rate becomes slow. But the rate of absorption, it will remain same throughout the process, because you know at the surface actually some pores are present. So initially the pores are empty, that's why the molecules get attached in the pores. After filling the pores, they do not get any space. That's why at the beginning the rate is very high, but as the time proceeds it becomes slow. But in this case, since the molecule enter inside the substance also, that's why the rate of the phenomenon is same throughout the process. So these are the main point of differences between adsorption and absorption. Thank you.